right, Steve. Many candidates for council and mayor have run for these positions calling for more transparency. Can you talk about what transparency means to you?
What it means to me is I've experienced the non-transparency as a council member. I think it means that we need to be open to the citizens, have our budget reviewed, but also when citizens ask for information, instead of looking for ways not to give it to them, we need to make sure they get it as quick as possible and be as open as possible. Meetings, they talked about people talking at meetings. That's a great thing, is to have people come express their opinions, and if they don't like something, let us know. That's the way we're going to learn more about them and what they see. But I think where we spend our money and what the city is actually doing to be open with the citizens.
Thank you, Steve. Anybody else? Scott?
Transparency to me is an open book, and anybody should be able to walk into the city hall and talk to any employee. There shouldn't be anybody who's stuck back in an office hiding. If a citizen has a legitimate question, they should be having an answer. I'm required in my job to be transparent in whatever I do. I have to plan for my students. I have to get results from them, and I have to analyze them. I have to prove that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. So transparency not only includes what Mr. Owen was talking about, but also customer service at the city. And we really need to start treating the citizens with more respect.
Thank you, Scott. Adam?
So when I ran for city council a couple of years ago, one of the things we ran on was having the opportunity to live stream city council meetings. It was a big ask that people had asked of us because they'd say, I have this event on whatever night, I can't make the meeting. So, I do commend the council for starting that ball and getting that started, and now we have events that are live streamed. To me, transparency means being available at all times. That's why, as a city council member, I've always maintained a Facebook page, Twitter handle, phone number, email, always readily available. And while that does bring trolls at times and people that just want to, try and get under your skin, it's served also really well for me to explain, this is why I voted and this is the reason for it, and give a good explanation on what I know and what I've been told and what I see. And so I think being transparent and open and honest with how you vote and the reasons for it is what I've tried to do as a city council member, and I would also do that as a mayor. And I believe we can do more to promote transparency. And I'll give you an example. I have a few examples of things that I feel like could save taxpayer money. And for one, that is making this core request and core process more transparent. We have spent over $30,000 of taxpayer money, your money, in core requests. And these are core requests that are a waste of time and money. Many times people wanting information on how much power they have, or why this person was working here and why not there. And I think if we had a place where people go on the website and see what's costing a taxpayer money, that's an open and transparent process. That's one example, but we have so many opportunities where we can open the door a little bit and let people see more. It's something that I actually pushed for as a city council member and was, we didn't have the votes to do that, but that's one example where I think transparency is important.
Thank you, Kevin. All right, next question. I'm going to let Scott start us off with this one. Scott, you are running to be a public servant. How have you personally, not as a member of a civic organization, committed to support this community? What personal actions have you taken?
Well, I am a member of the Riverton Club. We have done several community service activities. I apologize, but with my job being up in Kansas City, I'm not available presently to commit myself to any of the other organizations that we have in town. But as I was speaking to a colleague out here in the audience, I worked with a church that is no longer here. So,
Thank you, Scott. Anybody else? Steve?
The charity I don't do because I'm a council member. I do it personally. It's a personal thing. I do belong to Rotary, but that was joined not because I was on the city council. I do think we have some things that we can do. As mayor, we have the Christmas tree fund. I may change it because I think we have a great organization with the police officers, the Blue Elves. So I would be really pushing for that. But my charity is my private life, and I don't use it for campaign.
Thank you, Steve.
Sorry.
I would echo that. I don't do things or donate time or, volunteer because I'm in this role as a member of the city council. I think you do good in the community because you want to do good. I've been very fortunate in owning our business that we were able to donate to things like Alex's Lemonade Stand, which goes towards childhood cancer. We were able to do things like donating to Girl Scouts. A police officer or first responder never paid for a drink while we owned our business. There were a lot of opportunities to do a lot of good within our business. Outside of that, I've become QPR certified. One of the things that I think is a growing, really big problem in our community is mental health and suicide awareness. Becoming QPR certified is one of the things I'm most proud of because that gives you the opportunity to know what to do in those situations. And unfortunately, that has personally affected my life, like many people in our community. I've also partnered closely with Zero Reasons Why. One of the things that I love about that organization is that it's student-led. Student initiative, they take the reins. We hosted story day events where people could come and tell their stories and really just give people, I know what that person is going through. Here's how I handled that. Here's what I did. I think those are two really important things. Another thing I've done is I love getting out in the community and hearing, not only what's going on with Spring Hill, but around us. I've been a big advocate for Golden, which is going on in Edgerton right now. I've attended rallies for them. I'm also a member of the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. For those of you that don't know, I have an autoimmune disease. So once a year, I go and advocate for patients in Washington, D.C. I think those are things that, again, we don't do as council members, but there's so much good that we can do within this community. And I'm a big believer in giving back to those that do treat you so well and are so good to you in Spring Hill.
Thank you, Kevin. All right, any questions? All right, Steve, how many hours per week to expect to conduct official city duties?
Well, I have an advantage because I'm retired from the fire service. So basically as many hours as it needs to be. Right now, I spend a number of hours reviewing paperwork, doing research, talking to constituents, trying to help them solve problems. So for me, it's open-ended. However long I need to be there, if somebody needs to talk to me at 10 o'clock at night, I'm available. All they have to do is call.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Repeat the question, please.
Yeah. And I'll put a better version on it. How many hours per week shall we expect you to be conducting official city duties?
Well, I don't think your duties end ever. So again, we need to focus back on the citizens. And as far as availability, I'm along with Steve Owen, but you have to have a work-life balance. And again, you guys have experienced this, and I have as well, on the council when you're getting screamed at, you're just kind of like, well, I don't know about all this. But you have to, like everyone else has said, you have to get a thick skin and move past it. So, yeah.
All right, Tyler?
I don't think there is a hours limit, time limit. When you're the mayor, you're the face of this city, whether you're at the grocery store, whether you're at the ball game, you have a duty, an obligation to present and, be the face of the city. I mean, that's the role of the mayor. So I don't think there's a time that you clock in or clock out. I think it's a 24-hour job, and it's one that I would take seriously, and it's one that I think I would be honored to have.
All right, thank you, Tyler. We're gonna do one more question, that way we have an opportunity, so anybody that's here, if you guys like to answer their questions personally or do a meet and greet. All right, next question. All right, this goes to Tyler. What are you going to do about our $34.5 million debt and the high mill levy?
Yeah. I think, one, we have to be honest with people. We're not going to wipe this $34.5 million debt by the next session. This was debts that we incurred by bad decisions, by previous administrations. The one thing I will say is that I'm really proud of the current council, and that's the fact that everyone on that council right now is concerned about the taxpayers' dollars, the amount of money that they spend. And we do spend a lot of time talking about budget, reviewing budget. I'm very proud of the budget that we just passed. For those that don't know, we lowered your taxes this year, which lowered the mill levy. I agree with going line by line. I am open to that. The thing I will tell you is, as a council member, we have 2 weeks, maybe more, I could be corrected, where we have that budget, where we have that opportunity to ask those questions and also go out to the citizens and ask their questions. We get clarification on a lot of things. So, I know a couple people mentioned, we should have been there 12 hours or whatever. I think what I did and what any responsible person would do is say, okay, here's the budget. I'm going to start asking my questions now. And then relaying that to the citizens and letting them know, hey, here's what we have for this budget. Here's what we're thinking. Again, I'm very proud that we've had the opportunity to lower taxes, lower mill levy this year. We have a great new finance director that people need to be aware of. We have an acting city administrator that is very, very, cognizant of the fact that every dollar counts, as some will say. And so we have the right people in place at this time. Now, we've just got to make sure that we don't long-term finance things, paying cash up front. And again, it's just like running a business in your household. You don't spend what you don't have. And I think that's what people expect from their council and their mayor, and that's what I would advocate for.
All right, thank you. Scott?
I would have to agree with Tyler in terms of where the debt came from, because leaders were trying